In this video, I want to show you how to replace a garage door torsion spring. In this video, I'm using some hand tools, specifically 7/16 and 9/16 size wrenches for a normal garage door. Things like some pliers, channel locks, and screwdrivers. Maybe a hammer, maybe some drill bits, and a socket in the same sizes, 7/16 and 9/16, maybe 1/2 inch as well. And I like using a little power ratchet because it saves a lot of time. A normal drill and an impact driver, and some 1/2 inch garage door tensioner rods. These are just threaded rods, but they work. For the first step, I loosened these right here. These secure the spring bracket right here. So I loosened these and then pulled this away. And then I also loosened the screws that hold this to this header board. This one is right here, and I need to move this upwards, so I just removed this one. I'm gonna leave this here because since this slot is on the bottom, I could slide this up. So all I did was loosen this screw right here so that this bracket can slide upwards. On this left side, or it could be the opposite side, whichever side that this is not on, you don't really need to move. There's enough flex to be able to move this entire bar because this is about 8 feet wide. So I just need to lift that side up. So I'm not gonna remove that side. So the next step I did is I removed this bracket here. It's identical to this. There are just two little bolts holding it. I guess, well, this one and then this vertical one right here for this slot. So I just removed those completely, and then now this thing is completely free to move. I'm just gonna set this aside for now. So this entire bar can go up and down like this. After that, I'm gonna remove these set screws. So this is the 7/16 wrench. So I'm just gonna loosen these. You don't have to take these all out. It's just enough to break it so that you could slide this pulley off. Now that these are loosened, I'm just gonna slide this entire pulley off the end here. I'm gonna lift this up if anything is getting in the way. Next, I'm gonna slide the broken torsion spring all the way to the end and off the edge of this. You might have to lift this up out of the way to clear any obstacles that might be in the way. Okay, so I got the replacement spring. It wasn't the exact size. Got it from Ace Hardware. The guy there said it's not essential that it match exactly, so this should be close enough. And I have my tensioning bars right here. These are just 1/2 inch threaded rod that I had laying around. This is like grade 8 or something. So really strong, it won't bend, but I would suggest getting actual dedicated garage tensioners if you don't have anything that's exactly 1/2 inch, because you don't want anything that's gonna slip. So the next step I'm gonna do is put the new spring back on the bar here, as well as the pulley at the end. Now that I have the bracket secured to the header board, as well as the spring itself to the bracket, I'm going to line this up to where it was. This is the pulley that I removed. So basically this is pushed all the way to this bracket right here. So I'm just gonna make sure it's there, and I'm gonna make sure these are backed off a little bit. And now it's time to put on the cables that had come undone. So if they came undone down here, you'll need to reattach them. So we get a good view. They just loop around this little catch here and then thread upwards behind everything. So just make sure it's clearing everything right here. I'm gonna lift it up and thread it through here this way, and I'm gonna pull it tight, and then just follow it all the way down to make sure that it's not catching on anything. It's all loose. And then now that I'm up here, there's a big groove on the outside of this pulley. I'm going to line it up with this. There's this little groove here that it'll fit through like this. I'm just going to slide it in. Here's a better view from right here. So I'm going to put it in here and then pull it so it can't move. So now it's trapped in there, and then wind it around the back side like this. And then I'm just pulling it tight. So see, putting tension on it lifted the door a little bit. So I'm doing is pulling it. So with it pulled tight, I'm then going to tighten down these set screws. So I could put enough tension easily to lift the door like that on this side. So do it as tight as you can by hand and then tighten these down. I'm going to so I've snugged it down. See, there's tension in here. And then to keep this from spinning loose, otherwise it would, spin and unloosen itself, I put some vice grips right here just resting against the wall. So now I'm good with this one. So I'm going to move to the other pulley. So it's the same procedure right here. Get your cable, secure it on the bottom if it came loose. Pull it all the way up through here. Make sure it's not caught on anything. And then secure it to the pulley like I did the other one. So I have put the cable on this one as well, wrapped it all the way around, put it in this catch, and then tighten these set screws so it can't move now. And next it's time to tension the spring. To start tensioning the door, I'm gonna have my 2 bars here. I'm gonna position the ladder so that I am not directly underneath this, because where you're tensioning this, these could slip and then whack you in the head or something. So I'm gonna be off to the side. I don't like being in front of the spring either in case it snaps or something. It's not likely, but just in case. So I'm gonna be to the right of this spring right here. So I'm gonna start out with making sure these set screws are not binding it, but I also want them to be close so that I could quickly snug them down when I'm ready. So I'm just gonna snug them in until they're touching and then back them out just a quarter turn so it could still move freely like that. So now I am gonna start tensioning this. The guy at the store suggested 15 turns. It might need more than that, but he said tension it until you could easily lift the door up around 3/4 and it should hold itself, and it should be in equilibrium at around 3/4 open. And then when it's fully open, it should keep itself open. So I'm gonna do some turns. I'll probably go to 15 and then see how much tension there is on it. Okay, I have turned it 15 quarter turns and I have it held with the bar right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and snug the set screws down and see how much tension there is to see if I need to add some more. So same thing as the pulleys, you don't want to tighten these too much, just enough so that it grabs it. So you do not want to bend your bar or bend this this tube. Okay. So to release the tension, I'm going to put my other bar in this hole, act like I'm turning it so it releases tension from this, remove this one, and then remove this one. So I have everything secured and tensioned correctly. The door opens up about where it should be. However, it looks like whenever the door is used after the tensioner broke off, the tenant opened the door, of course, not knowing that the tensioner was broken, and it basically folded this top section in half, so it's kind of useless right now. It can't open it without folding this top section. So I'm gonna have to put some reinforcement on that for this to work. So I'm gonna show you the door opening. that's basically where it stops. It's about halfway, but unfortunately I can't go any more because the at the very top the cable will run out of it'll get loose and then come off the track, and until I strengthen this I can't do anything about it. So you see how bent this is. Your door might be exactly like this if you open the door without the spring in place when it was broken, and it basically pulled on this and then just like folded it in half, so it destroyed this top section. But assuming this did not happen, this would be a good working door, and that would be how to replace the garage door tensioner. So thanks for watching.